Welcome. Please come to a comfortable seat on your mat. Take a moment to just settle in. Shift your intention to yourself, your body, your emotions, your mood, how you feeling. Start to just become aware that you're feeling sensation in the body. Give a little rock, side to side. Feel your sits bones. A little rock front to back. Take a deep breath and lengthen your spine. And then let it out. Again, take a deep breath, lift up your spine. Let it out. 2 more times. Just take a moment, stretch your arms up tall into the sky. Breathe through the nose. Go ahead and put your hands on blocks or on the floor and just hang your head a moment. Try to relax the effort. Before you can warm up the body, you first have to check in with it. Notice how things are feeling today. Go ahead and walk the hands back behind you. Spread your fingers here. Spread your hands. Squeeze your shoulders onto your back. Try to even close your eyes for this opening bit if that feels okay to you. When you close your eyes, you'll feel more, or just be more aware of what you're feeling in the body. Good. Come back forward. Drop forward again. Breathe. It's okay if the mind starts to get a little slower. A little more centralized around your body awareness. Let's even go ahead and lie on the back. Lie on the back with your knees bent and your shins in the air. You can tuck your hands behind your head. You could even elevate your head slightly so the elbows are out. Good. Keep the knees and ankles close together. And just gently take the legs a little bit to your left. Don't twist all the way. You're going to keep them in the air, so a little bit of core engagement. And take your legs a little bit to the right. Let's just go back and forth again. Inhale, center. And then exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Feeling the pelvis rotate on the mat. Center. Exhale left. Center. Exhale right. Center. Left. Center. Right. Come back. Stretch the legs straight. Don't cause any difficulty, and then place your feet on the floor. Good. Extend your right leg out. Push through your heel, and then draw the leg up. And let's lower it down. Push through the left heel. Draw the leg up. And put it down. Push through the right heel. Draw the leg up. And down. With the breath, left heel pushes forward. And up. And down. One more time, right leg. Left leg. Good. Place the soles of the feet together. Let your knees drop open. Notice the sensation. You can change the webbing of the hands if you want behind your head. And turn your head all the way to the left. Get a little bit of a neck stretch. Go ahead, turn your head all the way to the right. Second side. Back up. Lift your chin up for a second. Open the throat. And bring the knees back to vertical. Put your right ankle on your left knee. And then lift your left leg toward the body. Feel a stretch in your right hip. Change the legs. Pull the right thigh towards you. And release. Good. Lift your hands up into the sky. Try to lift your forehead up into the sky. Engage your core a little bit here. Breathe. 3 breaths. 1, 2, and then lower down. Try it again. Lift your fingers straight up. Lift your forehead straight up towards your fingers. You can do the same exact pose, or lift your feet off the ground. 1, 2, and 3. Relax. Last round. Feet on the ground, knees in the air, or you can even extend your legs a little straighter out. 1, 2, and 3. Good. Take your right knee to your chest in both hands. Don't pull too tight. If you want, you can stretch your left leg out straight on the mat. Breathe here. And then slowly change the legs. Left leg draws in, right leg extends out. And then slowly change the legs back to the right leg. Holding the right leg with both hands. Bring the knee towards your right shoulder a little more. And then bring the knee across the body a little bit. Don't twist, just pull the knee. Don't try to keep your right hip on the ground, everyone. Bring your right knee just toward the left shoulder so you're stretching the outer hip. Yeah, much better. Just feel the outer hip stretch for a moment. Good. Change sides. Bring the left knee in. And bring the left knee to the left shoulder. And then bring the left knee over. Keep the hips down so you feel more of the stretch in the hip rather than the twist today. Good. Bring both knees into your chest. And just start to rock a little bit. And if you can, you're going to start to rock up a little bit, balancing on your sit bones for a moment. And then rock back. And just do that a couple more times, just rocking out, stretching out the spine, stretching out the back. Couple more. Try to rock up and balance on your sit bones, and then rock back. Be careful with this one, Billy. Yep, good. Last one. Good. Let's go ahead, cross our ankles and stretch our arms up to the sky. Deep breath. 2 more. High up into the sky. Good. Drop over to your left. Breathe in. Breathe out. Drop over to the right. Excellent. When you're ready, you're going to walk it forward and come to hands and knees, tabletop. Really focus on pushing down through your hands today. Toning your shoulders. If you can, point the toes so you're on your toenails. And push down through your knees and push down through your shins. But to keep that feeling nice and steady. Feel the body, feel the muscles by pushing down with your hands and shins. Feel the muscles start to tone around the bones. Can you notice which hand is pushing down more firmly? Good. When you're ready, you're going to take your left leg straight back and lift your left leg straight up in the sky. Balance here. You can just keep the left leg lifted, or if you want, you're going to put the right hand in front. When if you want even further, you're going to lift the right hand up as well. Good. Breathing. Keep pressing down nice and firm. Stay with it. Focus on feeling. This will, in time, shut off the thinking mind. Just a quiet attentiveness, awareness. Good. Place back down. Before you go to the second side, consciously press down through shins and press down through your hands. Try to feel the muscles tone around the bones. When you're ready, right toe back, And then if you'd like, right leg up. And if you'd like, left fingers in front on the floor. And if you'd like, left arm in the air. Breathe, concentrate. In yoga, they have the 8-limbed method of yoga. And right now, you're focusing on holding your body in a particular shape. We call this asana. And you're focusing on your breathing and regulating your breath. They call this pranayama. And you're adding this layer of focusing, of learning to concentrate on just one thing. They call that dharana. Good, back down to center. Those are 3 of the limbs. Let's go ahead and put the left leg straight back again. And lift the left leg straight up again. Now you're going to do the crisscross if you'd like by lifting the right arm. Or if you want to challenge yourself, you're going to put the left finger, so it's the same side, out in front. Try to keep your torso square to the mat. And maybe lift up your left arm. And you practice the 3 of the 8 limbs. Finding a steady posture for the body. Regulate your breathing. And concentrate. Those are 3 of the 8 limbs of yoga. Stay focused. And come back to center. Good job. Put the right leg back. If you lose your balance, you need to choose a more modest place where you can keep the concentration, you can keep the steadiness of your asana. That's more important than jumping ahead of yourself. That's why it's great to have the right toe on the ground, but the knee straight. Or then maybe lift the leg up. But before I lift my right arm up, I put my right fingers out in front and brace with my finger pads. And maybe I only lift an inch or 2 off the ground before I lift 6 inches, before I lift 2 feet off the ground. And then I come back, and it's a practice of humility, a practice of being honest, being content, being kind to my own body, my own ego even. These are the first 2 limbs. They're sort of how to treat each other and how to treat ourselves. Like you practice contentment. This is your body today. Do a pose that you can actually do. Instead of overly striving and ending up with nothing. And that's called don't covet. Don't covet what's not yours. Good. Come back to center. Let's bring the hips forward. Drop the hips down. Stretch your throat open. So these yamas and niyamas, there's 5 and 5. They're just ways to sort of help shape your yoga practice, maybe take your practice a little more off the mat. About how to think about how to behave, how to be in the world. Inhale, lift up your chest. Cobra pose. These are the first 2 limbs, yamas and niyamas. So almost before you begin your formal practice, you might consider, I should be nice to people. I should tell the truth. You can learn to be content with the things I have and who I am, etc., etc. They're all fairly wholesome, I think. Good, relax back down. One more time, inhale, curl up, cobra pose. And this time, take your arms off the ground, squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Lift the legs up if you can, breathing here, toning your back body muscles. So we have the yamas, niyamas. They encourage us to be nice to each other and to be nice to ourselves.
and relax back down. You turn your head to the side, rest a moment. Keep breathing softly. When you just watch your breath, when you slow your breath, when you only breathe through your nose, these are all ways to regulate the prana. You calm yourself down, but stay alert. Good. When you're ready to come back up, cobra pose. And then squeeze your shoulder blades, float your hands, locust pose. And then squeeze your legs and lift your legs, locust pose, another variation. Breathe here. It's calm and smooth. So it's a difficult asana. It can be strenuous, but you're calmly and smoothly breathing. You're making your asana be steady and easeful while practicing your breath exercise. Couple more breaths, stay with it. Did you choose a modest? It's another niyama or yama, a modest variation of the pose so you can hold it for long periods of time. Good, hands down, push up, and then go ahead and push back, downward facing dog posture. Try to really push the ground away from you. You can shorten your stance a little bit. Lift the toes energetically so you feel the downward dog in your shin muscles. Press down through your heels, breathing downward dog. Come on down to your kneeling posture once again, tabletop. And this time we'll practice a deep cow posture. You press down through your toes, knees, and hands. Really stretch up through the front of your throat, elongating the front of your spine. Letting all the muscles collaborate and work together. Breathe light and smooth as you open your front body. Very nice. Go ahead and turn your left foot out 45 degrees off your mat. Focus on your left shoulder, left hand. Push down as you open your right arm perfectly over your left arm. And your right knee will lift, right toes will turn out. And if you want, you can straighten that right leg, gate pose, or a baby side plank pose. Breathe and stretch your collarbones, open out through your thumbs. Good, turn your right toes up so you're balancing on your right heel a little bit. Open the right hip as you turn the right toes, flex the right toes, get a little more hip opener. You can rebend the right knee if you haven't already. Good, now take that right arm overhead to open that side stretch. One more breath. And let's come back to our tabletop pose. Nice and easeful. When we focus on all those details, we stay attentive to the instructions, and even if we get confused, we check back in. That's the concentration. That's the dharana, one of the 8 limbs. Open the front of your throat again. Really stretch the front of your spine calmly, cohesively. Trying to be emerged, fully focused on just the body and the body's sensations as we transition to our second side. Emphasize the right arm as you kick out the right toes. Lift up the left knee and stack your left shoulder. over the right. Good. You can straighten the left leg. Concentrate. And here you're going to maybe rotate the left toes to point up. Heel is pressing down, left heel is pressing down. Good. If you want, you can rebend the left knee and start to swing the left arm overhead, opening that side stretch. Good. Come back down, tabletop. Open the throat. Breathe here. Tuck your toes under and push your hips back like you're a wolf howling at the moon. Walk your hands back a little bit so you can lift your chin and chest even higher. Breathe. Walk the hands back. You can place the hands on the shins, or on the thighs. Keep the throat open. Breathe. Keep squeezing your back muscles, opening your front body muscles. Good. And let's come up, hips over our knees here. Take a moment, stretch your chest up and pull your shoulders back. If you want, you're going to support your low back with your hands. You can, more challenged is to point the fingertips up. A little easier is point the fingertips down. A lot easier is point fingertips down. And pull those shoulders back as you kind of just anchor into your hips with your hands. Deep breathing. Good. Come out of the pose just a little bit. If you've got blocks, you can go ahead and move them to the front of your yoga mat. And then just step your right foot. And then go ahead and step your left foot onto the middle of your mat. Push down through your yoga blocks or the floor. And extend your spine forward. Flat back pose. Look down at your feet with your spine extended forward. And line up your feet parallel. As you line up your feet, root down through your heel and the ball of your foot at the same time. Notice if one leg is dominant. Good. Keep rooting down through your legs. See if you can take your hands away from the floor or away from the blocks with relative ease. Very nice. And then keep rooting down through your legs. Let's go ahead and lift up. And once again, place your hands behind your skull. Open your elbows out. And then turn your head to your left, looking at your left elbow. Turn your head to the right, looking at your right elbow. Open your arms out into a field goal pose or a cactus shape. Rotate in your shoulders, sending the fingers further back behind you. Pull the elbows and shoulders back now. Good. From here, bend your knees and step your left leg back, warrior one legs. Listen carefully. Concentrate. Stretch your left calf. pushing down through the left heel. Rotate at the elbow or shoulder so the fingers point down. You're inwardly rotating, yep. And then pull your hands behind you. Hold your hands. And as you lift your hands, bow over or inside the front thigh. Breathe. Keep stretching that back calf. Inhale, come up, rooting down through your heels. Good. But bend your knees and let's step back to bent knees. Inhale up. Interlace the hands behind your head. Turn the head to the right. Turn the head to the left. Concentrate. Back to center. Open out the arms. Part of this asana practice isn't just the pose, but it's also the fact that you're turning away from other things. Focusing on the sensations of the body. Keep squeezing back. Arc the hands back a little bit. Bend your knees. Step the right foot back. And push through the heel, warrior one. Try to stretch your right calf. By just solely focusing on the felt sensation and the instructions, we withdraw our attentiveness to the other things. We're certainly withdrawing from our worldly activities, our life goings-ons, our wandering thoughts. Hold the hands behind you and then bow forward. So when you withdraw some of your attention from outwardness, we call that pratyahara. And you practice pratyahara, withdrawing inward as part of your 8 limbs, so that you can focus and be attentive. If you've been listening, which one is attention, concentration, focus? The word was dharana. Push down through your legs. Inhale, come up. Bend your knees, step forward. Reach up to the sky. Bring your hands by your side. Good. You could just step on a block or 2 blocks. Otherwise, bring your right knee up in your hands. Lift it straight up. Just going to be here for a moment. One more deep breath. And then you can bend your knee if you need to. You have another knee. And step your right leg all the way back. Hands on the blocks. So it's like a lunge pose. Lengthen your spine from your back heel. Turn your spine open to the left, so towards your front thigh. Twisted lunge. Breathing. Good. Place that hand back down. Plant your back foot and straighten your front leg. Pressing down through your heels as much as the ball of the foot. Breathing in the pyramid pose. Let's do it again. Push down through your right hand and start to lift your left arm up. I can't twist this far. Maybe you can, but I don't think you should try. Just feel the twist again. Straighten your spine and spiral it to the left. Good. Twisted pyramid. Revolve triangle. Back down. Bend your front knee. Lift your back leg high in the sky. And then step it down. Use your bent knees to lift up. Lift your shoulders and relax them down by your sides. Very nice. Let's see how well I focused and can I remember it for our second side. Push down through your right leg and lift up through your left. So our yamas and niyamas are the first two limbs. And here it's where we learn to be a good person to others and to ourselves, so that we can have more yoga in our lives. We practice things like being kind and being honest and being content. Practicing moderation when possible. Good. Bend the standing leg, send the left leg straight back into lunge. And then from there, you start to, when you practice your asanas, you take seats, you take steadiness and ease in the shape of your body. So as you open up into your twisted lunge, this becomes a seat of awareness, your asana. And now we breathe inside our pose to keep it vital, keep our body healthy and active and present. Pranayama, breathing inside the asanas. And then you also recognize that you're turning inward. You're withdrawing, making this practice time every week part of your life to just take care of yourself, withdrawing your senses from the outwardly life. Pratyahara. That we can truly concentrate and focus. Good. Plant your back heel down. Straighten your legs, pyramid pose, bowing over the front leg. Press through your heels as much as the ball of your foot. Straighten your spine. And you can twist the pyramid pose as well. Be humble. Don't be more than you are. Be content with what you are, not grasping. But then focus on the sensation of the pose. Be completely immersed in that concentration. And these are 6 of our 8 limbs in that order. Good. Hand back down. Bend your knee. Lift up your back leg high into the sky. These are 6 of our 8 limbs in that order. Bend your knees and step forward. Push down with your bent legs through your heels and come all the way up. Open up as you relax down. Let's try that whole flow again. Creating a yogic state of mind, thinking about our limbs here. Bring up the right knee, lift it up tall, breathe. The exact same sequence. Bend, step it straight back, lunge. Extend your spine. Twist the spine. The knees are bent still, or the front knee's bent. Twisted lunge, that's it, you got it. Place the hands down, close and shorten the stance. Bow over the front leg. We want to press down through our heels as much as the ball of the foot. Breathing in our pose, turning inward, focusing. If you'd like, twist again inside the pyramid pose. Back down. Lift the back leg up nice and tall. Bend the knees. Step down, push up with your bent legs, rooting your heels, reach up. Inhale and open up, exhale. Good, second side, shift to the right. Just a little bit of bouncing, totally cool to step on the block, lift up the left leg. Practicing the limbs of the 8-limbed yoga, Ashtanga yoga. You can read about these limbs in the Yoga Sutras. They're elsewhere, but they're made popular in the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali. Lots of translations out there. Good, drop the leg back into a lunge. Bend the front knee deep. Once you have your steady stance, your steady seat of posture, open the right arm up, twist your lunge and breathe in the pranayama. Keeping yourself energized and clear of mind. You turn inward, giving little thought and attention to the wanderings of the life, treating our practice as an important inward time for self-care, self-understanding. Good, close the stance, shorten it, straighten the legs, bow forward, pyramid pose. Make sure you push your heels down as much as the ball of the foot. Turning inward, we can fully concentrate on any one thing. You can turn and do your evolved triangle again. Doesn't they say actually you can kind of basically concentrate on anything as long as it's one thing. And so in the scope of this practice, we can really focus on the breath in a pose. We can really focus on the body sensation or on a particular alignment. Sometimes you can focus on an idea. How do I truly practice contentment in this pose and let it permeate? You concentrate on just that one idea. Being content in a single pose. Lift the back leg up as high as it'll go. Bend your knees, plant it down, and rise up. Inhale. And relax your arms down. Good. Take a nice wide stance on your yoga mat. Hold your hips, hands on your hips, and just start by pushing your hips a little bit forward. Feel the stretch of the thighs here. Root your heels as much as the ball of your foot today. And then mix circles with your hips, trying to feel the different thigh muscles getting stretched just by making hip circles. Nice and easy. Concentrating on the sensation of the hips. And then go ahead and reverse the circles. Concentrating. Good. Bend your left knee. Reach your right hand down your right leg. Look at your right foot. Back up, hands on your hips. Bend your right knee and reach your left hand down the left leg. Look at your foot. Inhale back up. Turn your left foot out 90 degrees. Stretch your arms up high in the sky. Palms point away. And then plant your left foot and stretch into your warrior two pose. Plant your heels as much as the balls of the foot today. Inhale, lift up the left arm, reverse warrior pose. And as you lift up your left fingers, press your left hip crease more into your left heel. Good. Pull the left hip crease straight back into your right hip. Keep pulling the left hip crease back as you reach your left hand out and then drop the left hand down. Good. Pull the right arm back behind you today to open your chest and twist a little deeper. Good. Inhale, come back up and turn the feet back, parallel stance. Inhale, palms up, turn out on the right heel, 90 degrees. Level 2, you actually keep your toes off the ground still, just your right heel's on the ground. And then drop one motion, warrior 2, planting through the legs. Inhale, lift your right arm up. As you lift the right arm up, sink your right hip crease towards your right heel. So close your stance a little bit, that's fine. Good, now pull the right hip crease back as far as it'll go as you extend your right hand out. Palms up's great. Then drop your right hand and pull the left shoulder and left arm back today, creating a little more of a twisted version. Push down, inhale back up, and turn on the heels back to heart center. Press your thumbs against your sternum and lift up, standing back bend, wide-legged stance. Good, stretch your arms up and into a V shape. Bend and turn your heels in. Goddess pose, look up as you pull your thigh bones down. Pull the sit bones down. Inhale, come back up. Hands to heart center. Let's do that whole sequence again. Pivot the heels out. Inhale, arms up. Pivot on the left heel, left toes up. Wait for it. Then one move, drop into warrior 2. Push your feet down. Inhale, left arm up. Sink your left hip crease towards your front heel. Inhale, pull your left hip crease back behind you as you reach out. Drop your left hand and now pull your right shoulder back. Look over, look at your right palm if you can behind you. Inhale, come back up. Reach up. Pivot on the right heel. Toes are in the air. Good, drop it down, warrior 2. Inhale, lift up the right arm. As you sink the right hip crease down. Straighten and pull your right hip crease back, reaching out, triangle pose. Today's triangle pose, pull the left shoulder back. Look over it at the left palm. Inhale, come back up. Reaching up. Turn the feet. Pivot the heels in 45 degrees. Open up. Looking straight up at the sky. Good. Bring the hands together and press your thumbs against your sternum as you look up fully. Breathe here. If you have your balance, you're going to walk it in. Keep looking up. You can turn face the front of your mat. Keep looking up. Keep stretching through the front of the chest. Good. Now pull the hips back, start to bow forward nice and slow. You can release the hands at some point down the legs. Press your heels down and come back up. Let's roll our shoulders up, back, and down. Beautiful. Beautiful. Finding a wall for a few balancing poses. Maybe grabbing a sip of water as you transition to the wall. Once you're at the wall, you're gonna today, for the first pose, you're gonna have the wall on your right side. The wall will be on your right side if you're using the wall. You're gonna bring up the right knee in both hands, or just the left hand, and rest your right hand on the wall. Breathe here. Concentrate. Notice how your shoulders have already turned when the right hand's on the wall. And now you're just going to slide your hand down the wall or down the imaginary wall if you're not using a wall. And that's going to open your shoulders up even more parallel to the right thigh. That's good. Root your left heel as much as the rest of your foot. And stretch your right hand back. If this is manageable to you, you're going to lift up your knee and hold your toe instead of your knee with your left hand. And this could be enough. And if you'd like, you're going to push out through your right heel as much as you can do modestly. Breathe. Good. Come back, bend the right knee if it isn't already, and place the ankle on top of the left thigh. Go ahead and bend your standing thigh, standing pigeon. Good. Push your standing heel down today. Good. Rise back up. A little different today. You're going to put the right hand back on the wall with the right leg up. You're going to hold your right ankle behind you with the opposite hand, the left hand, a little different from how we normally practice. So it's a twisted version. Your right hand will go now forward along the wall as you pull the left leg back, or you could even just stay upright and just kick a little bit. It works for your body. And release. Good. So now if you're using the wall, you're going to spin around so that your left hand can be on the wall and you are perpendicular to the wall. Okay. Bring up your left knee. Put it in your right hand and put your left hand on the wall next to your shoulder. This might be enough of the pose today. Or you're going to start to slide the left hand back against the figurative or literal wall, turning the shoulders parallel to the wall or close to it, moving toward parallel. Make sure you root your right heel today as much as the rest of your foot. Breathe and concentrate. Has anyone wondered what the last two limbs are going to be? Or if maybe you doubted that by concentration I had forgotten that I still didn't go over two of the limbs? You all know me well enough. You're just, I'm just waiting. Okay, come back along the wall, hook the left ankle on the right thigh, bend the standing leg, standing pigeon pose. Breathe here, concentrate. All of our limbs are active, we're inwardly focused, we're concentrating, we're breathing, we're in a steadiness of pose. We're trying to be good people. That's the yamas and niyamas. Trying to be nice to ourselves. Come back up, reach the left foot behind you, hold it with the right hand so your left hand could use the wall today. You can lean into it as you kick or just stay upright as you kick. Practice 6 of your 8 limbs. It's really just the yamas and niyamas usually happen outside the practice. They can certainly happen inside the practice. But asana, breathing, turning inward, and focusing. And relax. Good. Come back down. You're going to press down through your heels today in your squat. So whatever distance apart you want to make your legs, turned out any amount. Doesn't matter. You don't have to go as low as usual. We do want to practice heel down squat today. Let's just hang out here for a moment. These last 2 limbs, they don't really happen on our own effort. All the other limbs, you can sort of say there's an effort, there's an ego that has to sort of choose to do them. But the last 2 limbs, I think, really sort of happen because you've done all the other limbs well. And it's almost like a blessing or a reward. You sort of slip into the last 2 limbs. It's hard to just make them happen like it is to just, concentrate, right? The instruction is the thing itself. You just say concentrate on something and you just do it. You either do it poorly or you do it well. But the last 2, that doesn't work like that. They sort of need all the other limbs to come together to create this next one, which is really meditation. We're entering a contemplative state. Come down to your knees. You can sit back on your block or blocks between your heels, or just sit between your heels. Knees together. Turn your palms to face up, rest them in your lap. Close your eyes. It's called Dhyan. Dhyan. It's very similar to how the Zen Buddhists practice. It's very similar to their technique. Where you slip past concentration. Let's say you're concentrating today on your breathing. We'll even try it. We'll just count 10 exhales. Really, really concentrating on the counting and really, really concentrating on the breathing. Perhaps if you can truly focus on just these things, just this breath count, you might enter a state beyond focusing. A calm, quiet space. Let's try it. Just count the exhale all the way up till you've done 10. Notice that it really is a breathing exercise and a focusing exercise. It's other limbs that if you do them, if you don't do them, it won't work. That's a guarantee. But if you do them with earnestness, you'll eventually start to enter the seventh limb, beyond meditation. It's just that simple. Works if you do it in time. Rock forward, slide the right knee forward, and slide the left knee back into a pigeon pose. Push down, tuck the toes, the left leg, and push through the left heel a lot. As you push through the left heel a lot, push on the floor, or push on your blocks with the heels of your hands to help open the front body. Really press the heels of the hands down. Good. Nice and slow. Change the pose. Change the side, really, not the pose. Stay in your focus. Stay in your contemplation. Push through the right heel or whatever the back heel is going to be. Press through the heels of the hands as you stretch up. Lean onto your left hip. Go ahead and swing your legs around. Keep the left foot in against your right thigh and have the right leg extended out straight. You can sit up on something, a little bit of prop of some sort. Flex the toes back, but keep your right heel down on the floor. You can grab your knee, shin, ankle, or toe with your right hand. With your left hand, place the heel of your left hand against your inner left thigh. And just push down into the hip, the femur bone of your inner left thigh as you turn your shoulders open. You can slide the right hand any further into the pose that works for your body. Rise back up. Go ahead, extend your left leg out. Pull your right leg in against the inner thigh. Press down through your sits bones. And stretch your left hand over along down the left leg that feels right to you. Take the heel of your right hand and wedge it in against the hip and push down on the thigh bone of your right leg. This will open your shoulders and breathe here. You should have even weight on both sit bones. Take the left hand any further along that suits your practice. Inhale back up. Go ahead, extend your legs out. Pull your navel in to your spine and press your spine down into the mat. Bend your knees so the feet are flat on the floor. Press down through the soles of your whole foot and lift your hips up, bridge pose. Breathe in the pose. Come back down. Bring the legs close together and then stack the right knee on top of the left. Shimmy your hips over to the right, just an inch or so, and then drop your legs, your stacked knees over to the left. If you practice the 6 limbs up to focusing, eventually whatever it is that you focus on, your health, your body, your emotions, your mind, you will start to enter a deep understanding around them. Whatever it is you focus on, you learn about it in a very deep way. This is the 7th limb. You get to know something, the one thing that you focus on in a very deep way, you slip into the 8th limb, samadhi. This is a sort of a union or a merging, being at one with. Whatever it was that you were focusing on, whatever it was that you were giving so much of your attention to, you and it join, sort of become the same thing. Let's change our legs. So bring the shins back together. Go ahead, stack the left knee on top of the right and do a shimmy of your hips before dropping your legs over. Samadhi is a component of 2 words, sama, which means same, and di, which means mind. So having a sameness of mind as opposed to a same, what's the opposite of same? Different. A differentiated mind is having a mind with lots of thoughts, feeling separate, feeling distinct. And so samadhi is when the mind feels the same. Bring the legs back to center. Go ahead and stretch out your legs. Stretch out your body. Give your body space. Sometimes we have this samadhi during this final moment of practice where we rest. If we truly allow ourselves to rest, you might have a moment of the mind just feeling the same with the present moment. Quiet, peaceful, still.
Please stretch your body.
Press up to a comfortable seat.
Namaste. Thanks for practicing.